Is this the last episode of the season?
It's the last one, man. Fuck. I can't believe we did it.
It's been a long time. I don't know the words to that song, by the way.
And I'm going to see you when I die or something like that.
This is going to be a good episode. This is going to be a great episode. I can feel it because I'm not doing it.
I think so. All right, let's get the popping.
What are we learning?
You guys like conspiracy theories?
I love them.
Ooh.
I love them. I'm really
Are
excited.
we going down a rabbit hole?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, good.
You guys ready? On this episode, we explore the mysterious object that might be silently orbiting the Earth. Some say it's an ancient satellite launched by aliens to monitor humanity, while others believe it's just a stray of space debris. What if the truth lies somewhere in between? Join us as we break down the story of the Black Knight satellite, explore its origins, and try to separate fact from fiction. I'm not dumb, but what's the Black Knight satellite?
Welcome to the I'm Not Dumb But
podcast,
where we won't claim to have the answers to life's deepest questions,
but we'll give you an exciting journey
into the realms of knowledge
you never knew you needed.
Might be mainstream, but not common knowledge. From artificial intelligence to conspiracy theories, no topic is too taboo for us to explore. Let's get curious together.
I'm your host, Caesar, joined by Chris.
Hey, what's up?
Rob.
Hello.
And Victor.
How y'all doing?
What is up, fellas?
What's up, man? I've never even heard of this.
Yeah, I've
thing.
never heard of this one.
Yeah, what's going on up there?
Do we have a white knight satellite that
That's
saves
racist,
us?
bro. That's super racist.
Okay, sorry.
I guess the answer is no.
Was that offensive?
So you guys have never heard of the Black Knight satellite, right?
No. Take me through this.
For decades, this object, known as the Black Knight satellite, has captured the imagination of conspiracy theorists and scientists alike. The legend spans more than a century, but it combines different stories, including uncovering strange radio signals and even government cover-ups.
Okay.
So our story begins in 1899 with our boy Nikola Tesla.
I see no one's using the time machine anymore.
No, I was going to say, where's the time
I don't
machine?
want
Let's
to
get
keep
up.
doing a time machine. I don't want to keep doing a time machine.
Yeah, blow up that time machine.
We'll do it next season. All right, so let's get in the time machine.
Let's do it. Tesla took some time out of his busy schedule making cars, and while in Colorado, conducted some experiments to study atmospheric electricity when he detected some unusual radio signals. This transmission was numeric code at regular intervals, and he speculated that these radio signals could have been evidence of extraterrestrial communication. So this was the first sign something was beyond the stars. We fast forward to the 1920s when a Norwegian engineer named Jürgen Hals made a shocking discovery. While conducting experiments in radio transmission, he picked up some radio echoes that came back a few seconds after the transmission has ended. What's interesting about the radio echoes is that they normally occur instantly after the original transmission. But Jürgen noticed that some of these radio echoes were occurring almost up to 15 seconds after the original transmission.
So let me get this straight. He was sending radio waves, right? Radio waves?
Yeah.
Out into space.
Yep.
They're taking some time and then they're bouncing back.
So he's doing experiments on these radio and transmissions, and normally they come instantly right away. But he's noticing that some of them are coming at different intervals. Some of them are coming right away. Some of them are taking a little bit longer time.
What is he shooting radio waves to? Like, what is he trying to do?
I don't know if he's shooting anything. I think he was just, they normally just travel around the Earth. Theoretically, if there's something blocking it, or something sending these radio transmissions at different frequencies, there's something else out there other than the Earth. Remember, this is the 1920s. There's nothing up there.
Well, the moon's up there.
Yeah, the moon's up there. Yeah, you're right.
I'm sure there's rocks and stuff floating out.
Oh, there's probably rocks. There's probably rocks. Did you know that when they landed on the moon in the Apollo missions, they put mirrors on the lunar surface?
Why?
Is that a real thing?
That's weird.
Does it work?
What'd you do today, Rob? Did you shoot some laser at the moon?
Fucking shot
To
laser.
measure the distance to the moon and back.
Because of the light?
Yeah.
I can see
Smart.
that. Smart guys.
Smart.
Also, that's how you know we went to the moon. But
I mean, never really know that. Okay, round earther.
It's just a theory.
These two separate events, they start building on the legend that is the Dark Knight satellite.
The satellite's fighting crime now. It's the Dark Knight satellite.
Where is she? Where is she?
You wanted me. Here I am.
So we have some mysterious things starting to unfold. And it wasn't until the 1950s where a story comes out that sheds light on what might be producing these radio waves. In 1954, a news story came out claiming that scientists from the White Sands base in New Mexico had reportedly found 1 to 2 satellites orbiting the Earth. They quoted an expert, Major Donald Kehoe. Donald Kehoe was a naval aviator, and he claimed that these satellites were emitting strange radio signals at different intervals, much like Tesla discovered. This is 1954. Russia launched Sputnik, the first satellite, in October 4th, 1957, 3 years after.
So they're saying that this satellite, this Black Knight satellite, is actually emitting radio signals.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what's funny? The launch of Sputnik is what led directly to the creation of NASA in 1950. I did not know that.
Oh, really? The fuck we were waiting for?
I know, right? They just like, all right, these guys got there first. All right, I guess we got to do NASA now. Another fun fact. So Russia launched Sputnik 1, and then it launched Sputnik 2. Sputnik 2 had a dog in there,
Yeah.
and it died
R.I.P.
almost right away.
Bruh.
There was a reference to the dog in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah?
So when they go to the collector,
Yeah.
he had a dog with a communist suit.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I never got it. I never got that reference.
Well, now you know.
They're definitely cat people.
Do not say that to me.
So another strange observation occurred. A researcher from Venezuela monitoring Sputnik 2 saw another object that he thought was Sputnik. But this object was moving a little bit differently. Satellites at the time, they moved in a prograde orbit, which means they went from west to east, just like the rotation of the Earth. Mm-hmm. This object that was noted was moving in a retrograde orbit, meaning it was moving in the opposite rotation of the Earth. The technology for this didn't exist at the time.
So there's no actual natural way for this to happen?
Potentially. At the time, nothing that was man-made.
Wow.
I tried doing some research, finding out if any of these satellites were actually launched in this retrograde orbit. In 2010 and 2012, they launched 2.
So we have satellites.
They
in
launched 2.
retrograde.
Yeah,
For
they
what
launched 2 of them.
reason?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure why.
I can understand geosynchronous orbit, but
Yeah.
like retrograde, it seems a bit unnecessary.
For science.
All these different occasions, all the different observations, it's starting to build this story. And for the believers of this so-called Black Knight satellite, they use this as mounting evidence to reinforce this belief. So this is just hearsay. This is just observation that were made by different people in the scientific community. But it wasn't until 1960 where there was a New York Times article with the headline, "A mystery polar satellite believed to be Russian was spotted." And the article said, "An unidentified silent satellite has been discovered circling the Earth in a near-polar orbit by United States tracking stations." The Defense Department said today, the identity and the origin of the mystery satellite, which has been dubbed the Dark Satellite, are not known despite nearly 2 weeks of tracking. So this is the first time that the United States Defense Department actually acknowledged that there's a object in the atmosphere that they can't identify.
Yeah.
So as it
So
goes,
they thought it was Russian?
they thought it was Russian.
I don't know who does the DoD communications department, but they're always very late on these things. Like they take like 20 years to respond to anything.
I looked at the actual New York Times article. The small little font, they had this one in there, kind of hidden.
It's like past the comics.
Yeah. What baffled observers and scientists was that this satellite didn't really have a regular orbit that it could be tracked. It would be in one location, it would be in another location, and they couldn't figure out the actual trajectory. And again, the article said it was believed to be Russian, right? This was in 1960. However, the Russian satellites Sputnik 1 and 2 all burned up in 1958. Even more mounting evidence for individuals that believe in this dark satellite.
Had anyone tried to listen to it? Maybe it was maybe it was playing show tunes or something.
So it doesn't have an actual, like, predictable orbit?
No. Many observers took on the task of observing and recording the satellite. One of those observers was French astronomer Jacques Vallée.
Merci, monsieur.
Who tracked, observed, and filmed this Black Knight satellite.
Oh, he filmed it? He got
He filmed it. He filmed it. He tracked it. He observed it. He wrote everything down. I couldn't find corroboration on these claims, but he said that this satellite was in polar orbit, similar to the New York Times article. He also said that this satellite was huge, the size of an oil truck.
Oh, wow.
So Vallée compiled all of his research, submitted it to his superiors, and then guess what happened?
He fucking died.
Shut down.
He disappeared.
No, his superiors scrapped the report and destroyed the films.
Oh, of
Oh.
course.
Wow.
Claiming that they were not able to actually observe this sort of object.
Oh, shit.
Likely story.
That's suspicious.
But don't feel bad for Vallée. He actually went on to become a venture capitalist. Still alive today. Wrote several books all about UFOs and government cover-ups. And he actually was on the Joe Rogan podcast.
I was going to say, like, he feels like he should be on
he was on it. I listened to it today.
So he couldn't go back and just re-record it?
Yeah, if you know where it was, why
right.
don't you just go look at it again?
But like I mentioned earlier, one of the reasons this so-called object was mysterious because it didn't really have a pattern to go on.
If he found it once, he could find it again. I'm going to call bullshit on this motherfucker.
No, he found it and his bosses just threw everything out.
But you couldn't find it again?
Well, we know it's out there now.
He knew it was out there. He was able to find it.
At
And
the
then he goes,
time,
well,
they were trying to cover it up, though.
Again.
At
so
the
what?
time.
So what? Find it again. Turn on
If your
fucking...
manager tells you to drop it, you're going to be like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to keep doing it.
No, I don't do that. I'm a company man. If my boss tells me to do something, I do it. I'm scared to lose my job.
15 and I'll be back.
It's called sticking to your guns. Be firm in your beliefs.
It's called unemployment.
Or they call you a little bitch.
Do it on your off time.
He doesn't have the resources to do it on off time. Everyone, listen, I can't print a gift card without going to work. People don't have anything at home. We strictly rely on the resources for work.
I don't even shred at home anymore.
I can't.
Nah, I go straight to work.
You ever look at how much shredders cost?
Times have been tough.
Things are about to get weirder. I mentioned earlier how they had those delayed radio waves that were discovered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Scottish astronomer and science writer named Duncan Lunan said, "Here, hold my beer." In a paper presented to the British Interplanetary Society in 1970,
their parties are out of this world.
Duncan Lunan noted that there was a relationship between these radio waves and the periodic appearances of this so-called Black Knight satellite. He claimed that these echoes carried a message and a star map, which he decoded, and he thought that this star map corresponded to about 13,000 years ago.
Did he decode the message?
Yes, he did. This is what the so-called message. Our home is Epsilon Bootis, which is a double star. We live on the sixth planet of the seven. Check that. The sixth of seven. Counting outwards from the sun, which is the larger of the two stars. Our sixth planet has one moon. Our fourth planet has three. Our first and third planet each have one. Our probe is in the orbit of your moon. End quote. I don't know how I feel about that, but I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Who called it Epsilon Bootis?
Probably the astronomers who found it.
Okay. No,
the aliens called it.
Well, the aliens would have been like, yo, this is where we're from.
Yeah.
Epsilon
And the message,
Bootis.
like, it wouldn't be Epsilon Buddhist. It would have been like, Glork 5006.
Mm-hmm.
This is our home planet.
The message sounds pretty bullshit, though.
What was this guy's profession?
He was a science fiction writer.
Oh.
Dude,
And astronomer.
Amateur astronomer.
got that shit from Transformers, dude.
Yeah.
Probably.
This guy.
Did he write Transformers?
Michael Bay?
This guy was jealous because he didn't come up with Scientology first. So he was like, I got to come up with something.
What did he write? Anything good? Like a Tom Clancy novel?
It's probably hardcore sci-fi.
Oh, shit.
He's that into it.
It's like past Stargate.
What do you mean? Stargate's a documentary. I don't know what you're talking about.
SG-1?
Also a documentary.
I've never delved into hard sci-fi before.
So, realistically, the Black Knight conspiracy became solidified in 1998 when NASA got into the action.
NASA's jumping in on this?
Yeah.
It's going out of its way to be like, there's a satellite out there.
During the STS-88 mission, which was the first space shuttle mission to the International Space Station, the ISS was being constructed and an astronaut, Jerry Ross, was on his way to attach a module the Americans made to try to attach it to the Russian module. And as part of that work, they had taken 4 thermal covers with them. So the task was to wrap these 4 pins around the module for the Space Shuttle Endeavour while it was being transported. And these covers would act to prevent heat loss from the exposed metal. But unfortunately, one of the covers came loose, causing it to float away. One of the astronauts on board took a picture.
Wait, what? That doesn't make sense. What about
Was
all
it the same
claims?
amount of time?
Like 1800s. What
Remember
about all
when I
those?
told you that the Black Knight satellite is a conjunction of a bunch of different stories?
No, I don't remember
No,
that
I don't
at all.
remember you saying that ever.
That,
Did you say
one of
that?
the first
Did you
things,
start with that?
that's literally the first sentence I said, I think.
Can we
Okay.
get a replay of that?
The legend spans more than a century, but it combines different stories.
Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
So yeah, one of these thermal covers flew off, and they even got a radio transmission of it.
Gary, one of the thermal covers got away from you. How did it do that?
And that it became apparent that one of the covers was lost for good. And like I mentioned, one of the astronauts took a picture at that time. And now this is one of the most infamous photos taken from the ISS. So this photo,
I'm looking at it right now.
you seeing it?
Wait. Oh, really? Where are you seeing this?
If you just on the Wikipedia page, Black Knight satellite conspiracy theory, you have a photo and you have a GIF.
This infamous photo was what these believers of the Dark Knight satellite said. There you go. That's the final proof.
Yeah,
that
I
we
don't know
need.
what I'm looking at. Looks like space junk.
Exactly.
It looks like a
That's what
space-
NASA's
yeah.
saying. What's going on in this picture is that it's a thermal cover. A lot of these conspiracy theorists said no. This was the final proof that we needed to know that this is an actual thing. This so-called Black Knight satellite is an actual thing. And you, NASA, just gave us a proof for it. Even though NASA said no, this is just literally a cover. Forget everything you ever heard of. All the things that you mentioned, the transmission, all of it was bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a cover. And this cover does not send out radio signals, nothing.
So they used the fact that they lost a solar cover to try to cover up the Black Knight satellite.
You would think.
But when was this?
But the
cover
timing
lost?
doesn't sound
the
right.
timing doesn't sound right. What about the 20s? What about
the delay, the star map?
the delay?
The delay. You know what? I think it's time to separate fact from fiction.
All right, let's do it.
That picture was taken in
1998.
It's a great year, by the way.
It was a good year.
Music was at its peak.
Mezzanine by Massive Attack. Fucking Miseducation by Lauryn Hill.
Korn, Follow the Leader.
Oh, shit.
Volume 2, Hard Knock Life, bro.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That was
Ricky
98?
Martin's Vuelve came out.
Wow.
It's dark and hell is hot. DMX, Americana, The Offspring.
Ooh.
Generational right there.
Bro. So America's peaking. The world is peaking.
The world is culture is peaking right now.
Culture is peaking.
It's at the peak.
And on top of that, we just got a picture of a UFO. We're fucking winning.
Right? I mentioned earlier that Tesla's strange radio transmissions, he thought were,
He thought it was aliens.
he thought it was aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Well, turns out not so much. The scientific consensus is that he likely encountered electromagnetic signal that are emitted from pulsars, which were actually not discovered until the 1960s. So it wasn't a satellite.
Yeah, but how do they know?
These were recorded again by another scientist.
Oh, shit.
What a
Yeah.
fucking idiot.
Yeah.
What a dumbass.
Dumbass.
Pulsars, obviously.
No wonder he
God.
died poor. Fucking
My
guy.
God, yeah. No wonder why Edison took advantage of him.
Seriously.
Didn't
He
even know
that.
pulsars.
Guy's a hack.
His car sucks too.
The Cybertruck trash.
Nice fucking model!
So whoever decided to come up with this so-called conspiracy theory decided to take this and use this as a launching point. Remember the long delayed echoes that I mentioned earlier about the guy who came up with the message and the stars and whatever?
Yeah.
Actually, scientists still don't understand why that phenomenon happens, but they think it might be something to do with the atmosphere.
What, getting a message?
No, the
delay.
The delayed radio transmission.
Oh, the delayed. I could see that. Shit bounces off the atmosphere. Like radio waves bounce off the atmosphere. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And clouds.
There's still uncertainty as to why this occurs. But our boy Duncan, he actually walked back those claims that these things were about the star map. Now, he actually walked all this stuff back.
Wait, so he said...
Duncan, listen to me. Duncan, what are you doing, bro?
He was a scientific writer.
He walked it back?
He walked those claims back.
First of all, stick to your guns.
Guys, yeah.
And
no conviction.
Hold on. And he said he didn't want to be associated with the Black Knight conspiracy nonsense.
Oh, my God. You're breaking my heart.
Get out of here.
You're breaking my heart.
He probably couldn't get a publishing deal.
Basically made the whole thing up.
So that's why they never found the Budapest. What was it? ISO Budapest?
The Epsilon Buddhist?
Epsilon Buddhist.
No, that's true. That's a real thing.
That's a real star.
The Epsilon Buddhist.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Let me tell you. Hold on. Let me tell you about the Epsilon Buddhist.
Yeah, what is going on with this thing?
It's officially named Izar. It's a binary star system in the northern constellation of Buddhist. It actually can be viewed with an unaided eye at night.
Oh. Wow, very progressive. It's binary.
Very demure.
That's all I had on it. I have no other information.
That's all we need.
That's good.
But yeah, the legend of this so-called Black Knight satellite is just multiple people taking multiple different things and kind of merging into one. Does this thing exist? I don't know.
Wait a minute. I don't know if it exists anymore. Didn't we track it?
The government tracked something, but we don't know what it was. For us to say it was an actual satellite based on the information
what was
that
the
we have,
thing that we tracked going in a retrograde orbit?
That was something that the government said, this was an object. We don't know what it is. But they never claimed to say, or they never said, oh yeah, this is a satellite that's not man-made.
So it comes out that there's a thing flying around. The government comes out later and says that, what was it, solar panels? That should have been lost years after we tracked it? Makes no sense.
So actually, those solar panels, NASA did track it, and a few days later, it did burn up in the atmosphere.
Can we still see the Black Knight up there?
So I tried to do research and tried to find out, are people still tracking it, or when was the last time you've seen it? One of the theories that I came across was that, and hear me out, the Illuminati sent a plane and shot it down.
No.
The Illuminati.
Stop.
That's one of the theories.
First off, you can't just shoot missiles. You can't just send a plane to shoot a missile down.
Could it be a secret plane?
No, we saw this.
Secret plane.
No, we saw this with the with the Chinese weather balloons. We can barely get a plane up there to shoot down a balloon because fighters don't go that high.
Can we circle back to beginning?
Chris, if you hit me with fucking corporate speak.
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
No. Why is it called Dark Knight or Black
Knight satellite?
Yeah.
Good question. So my understanding is there was this Russian novel that came out. A Soviet science fiction writer who wrote a book, Hypothetical Planet, that was destroyed by a nuclear disaster. And in that book, he mentions that civilization launched the Black Prince satellite into Earth's orbit. The phrase Black Prince was translated into English as Black Knight. So Black Knight, silent satellite, it all kind of merged into one. A lot of the things that have been debunked, the radio waves, the lunar star map, the claims, all that stuff. The only thing I'm curious about is that New York Times article that came out.
That New York Times article.
That was the Defense Department saying that we track something that we don't know what it is.
Has anything come out since then from the DoD?
Yeah, everything that's came out afterwards, NASA has corroborated. This is just nonsense. This doesn't exist. It never existed. This is a bunch of bullshit. Now, my actual opinion, it could be two things. There could be something that the government did track back in the day, and this photo that was taken by NASA was an actual heat shield that kind of went into space, and they took a picture of it. So two things could be true at one time. This photo might not be this object that people have claimed to have seen in the 60s. So I think that's what happens. Is this thing like alien? I have no idea. And there's an object that was tracked, couldn't be identified, and also you have this incident happen in the 80s or in the 90s. That's what I think. After reading and doing a little bit of research.
So this satellite shows up, orbits the Earth randomly for, let's give or take 100 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then as our technology gets better and we put more and more shit in space, it takes off, essentially.
It was destroyed.
That's a theory. One theory is that it was destroyed. Another theory, it might still be up there.
Oh, the Illuminati destroyed it. Let's just take that off the table.
All right, let's take that off the table. It might still be up there.
No, it can't be up there because we'd see it.
Well, some of it was reported by now.
Oh, now it's stealth? Oh, it wasn't stealth in the 1800s and then automatically becomes stealth?
They did an upgrade because they knew that we could track it.
Yeah. An upgrade? Yo, you're from Epsilon Buddhist, bro. You know how far away that is? That's like dial-up. That's like dial-up speeds.
Okay, so let's say this thing is a satellite. What is its purpose?
Well,
what is its purpose?
No one knows.
What does it do?
Let's say it's monitoring us.
Is that what they think?
No, but this is what I think.
No, actually,
why else would you have a satellite?
It's like a sling box?
It's a Roku. It's like fucking
Roku.
They want to know when's the next episode of House of fucking Dragons coming out.
No, they think one theory.
It came back after the second season of Only Murders. So
it actually left during the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. It was like, this is ridiculous. We're out of here. This is a gimmick fight.
It had money on Mike Tyson.
What if that thing is traveling time right now? It's in a different time period. That's why you don't see it.
What? All right, let's not. I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay, Chris.
All right, buddy.
I don't know. Let's calm down. Chris is a writer for Marvel.
Yeah. What science fiction book are you trying to write right now?
Yeah.
Buy my book.
One of the theories is that if this is indeed a satellite, it would serve the same purpose that our satellites serve now. Reconnaissance,
yeah.
Right.
We send out satellites to Mars. It's the same thing. Why wouldn't, let's say, an intelligent...
they just saw a bunch of fucking
they
animals running around, and they're like, let's just see what happens with these guys.
Yeah. Let's
leave
see how far these guys go.
Yeah. They're just on podcasts, so we've got time. They've just started their podcast.
Joe Rogan's setting them back like 300 years. So I feel like at this point, we have our little low orbit, I think, pretty well situated as we know what's going on up there. If it was still there, I think they would have found it. They would be like, yo, what is this?
Yeah.
So let's just assume it left. Why would it leave now? Things are just getting spicy now.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I have no idea.
I don't know. That New York Times article blew me away, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Something doesn't add up.
You would think that the New York Times wouldn't publish anything unless they have some facts, right?
Fake news. That's why they're a failing news organization.
Disgusting newspaper.
It's a crazy story. It's a fun.
It is a crazy story.
It's a fun story.
So it's supposed to be a reconnaissance thing.
It's a fun alien thing that, like, is it true? All right. What did we learn today, Chris?
Based on what you told me, I believe there is something up there. Based on the stories and whatnot, but seems like the government is either covering it or hiding it or not telling us anything, just because I bet they don't even know what it is either. I bet they are tracking it. I bet they know exactly where it is, but somehow they're not telling us and not sharing anything with us. That's what I think.
What about you, Rob?
I want to know more about this thing. I want to know what its purpose is. I want to know why it was here. It just seems like the story doesn't add up. I know what you're saying, that it was probably just an amalgamation of different types of stories and they might have all been the same. But the New York Times article coming out and then the government cover-ups, something's fishy, but definitely a fun story.
What about you, Victor?
I just want it on the record that Chris is an idiot.
And, what the fuck?
That's mean.
And
that's mean. You're drunk again.
If something was up there that we didn't know about, someone could find it. If not, space is wide open. Just look up. Fucking space is there. If someone was able to find it in like the 1920s with fucking rudimentary fucking radio antennas, you could find it now. So I don't think it's there anymore. If it ever was here, I don't think there's a cover up. There's probably nothing.
Well said.
No, well, it's like aliens. Every time there's something, like like Area 51, all the bullshit, the alien stuff that we hear about, and they're all shutting it down. Like a lot of people out there that someone has to seen it, right? But we don't really hear about it because I'm pretty sure
there
government.
are there's a lot of shit out there that we don't understand.
My For the Record still stands, by the way.
The story of the Black Knight satellite is a fascinating blend of science, speculation, and storytelling. While the evidence for the ancient alien probe watching over humanity doesn't hold up to scrutiny, the myth continues to capturing our collective imagination. We want to take a minute to express our gratitude to our community. Your feedback has been invaluable, and we're thrilled to know that you're enjoying the content as much as we're enjoying producing it. As this is the last episode of Season 2, rest assured that we're gearing up for an exciting return with Season 3 in January. Stay tuned for more topics, interviews, and laughs. Thank you for your continued support, and we look forward to bringing you more compelling content in the upcoming season. And if you enjoyed today's show, hit that follow button and spread the word of this amazing podcast you to cover. We want you to be an active part of our community. Whether you have questions, suggestions, or just want to share your thoughts on our topic, we want to hear from you. Find us on Twitter at I'm Not Done But, and on YouTube at I'm Not Done But Podcast. And on behalf of the I'm Not Done But crew, happy holidays, and until next time, stay curious.
Later.
Holidays.
But somewhere out there, something is watching us. There are alien forces acting in ways we can't perceive. Are we alone in the universe? Impossible, when you consider the wonders that exist all around us.